Well, this next book, we're going to talk to the authors. It's Wise Words and Insightful Reflections. I just want to read one quote for you because there's so many to look at. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up, by Vince Lombardi. Well, I'm joined with Arvind and Deborah. These are some great quotes in here, and you cover just everything. Like, there's so many people, from Mother Teresa to Vince Lombardi. Mm-hmm. So how did you pick all of these quotes? Were you just sifting through quotes upon quotes?
We collected a unique fusion from some of the most influential and society-changing thinkers of all time, so that there is something in this book for everyone, and that is why the message in the book is so powerful.
And so how long did it take you to compile all of these insightful thoughts?
It took us probably, we've been collecting for some time, but probably the last 2 years in particular. And we basically had the idea that whatever inspired us, that we'd put into the book. And it didn't matter the source, because we wanted it to be a very wide open collection, from Mother Teresa to Vince Lombardi. So that's what we wanted to bring into it. And what inspired us, we also wanted it to inspire others to share it with them. And that's what became the basis of the book. And the other neat part of the book is that there's also inspiring stories in there. And that's probably something that you noticed as you were looking at the book. And those stories are basically about how other people have been inspired by quotes. And we actually were inspired with a lot of the stories ourselves. So it's quite amazing to see it all come together just through the collaboration.
And so where did you find these stories from? Were you asking friends and relatives and neighbors, or just people on the street?
Actually, some of it came through my Facebook friends. I've got many Facebook friends.
Which is always great. Social media is amazing for stuff like this.
Yes, and this is at an international level. So some contributors are from India, some from the United States, Canada, from all over the world.
And it's amazing because if we live here in Canada, but we may not have insights from around the world. So when you get to read some of these stories, it's amazing what they have to say.
Yes, so not only are there international contributors, but also there are local contributors who are just as amazing. And I've come across many of these people through long-time friendships, also through meeting people at cafes around town. And Arvind, you've got some other sources as well, people that you know, and yeah.
People that I know from Facebook as well. Social media, as you said, is great to be able to connect with people. And I think just the collaboration between us and coming up with the interesting mix of people. And some of it also expresses many different perspectives as well. So that's neat as well.
Yeah, and like you said, you use Facebook, so I'm sure you got inundated with stories and quotes. How did you sift through that information to find out which were the best stories and quotes you wanted to include in the book?
I think it was a process where we both looked at everything, and then we had a criteria in terms of what really appealed to us. There were certain topics that we had around which the book was formatted. So we looked at which quote went with which topic, and which story really brought that out. So we did have a lot of really interesting stories, but I'm really proud of the ones that we finally selected. So I think it'll also inspire others as they read the book.
And it's amazing what just a simple quote can do, because sometimes you could be having a terrible day, and it seems like just at the right moment you'll read a quote and it can change your outlook for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
I agree. This is why we wanted to compile a book about quotes, because quotes are so very powerful. Quotes take a few amount of words and they say so much. They say volumes, and this is the power of a quote. You can remember a quote. Everyone has a favorite quote, I'm sure, and this is the power of a quote. In certain life situations, a quote may come to mind, and that may make all the difference.
And you guys are actually going to be doing a book reading at the Second Cup in Westdale.
Yes.
So you're going to be reading some of your inspirational quotes, or what's going to be going on?
It'll be a really fun event. We're going to have some selection of quotes. We're also going to have the contributors to the book read their own material. We're also going to have people with
that'll be
music.
Such a great idea, reading all of their own stories.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it amazing to hear the person's voice directly. And we'll also have something to introduce the book as well. And there'll be musical entertainment as well.
Yes, this is a very exciting event.
I think
the
it's going to be
whole
great.
experience is going to be inspiring. We've got about 5 various singers and musicians lined up, local and amazing, amazing talent.
And you'll be able to read the book and grab a copy of the book when we go out to the reading, of course.
Exactly. We'll have books available. It's on Friday, May the 3rd at the Second Cup in Westdale in Hamilton, from 7 until 9 p.m.
Well, thanks so much for coming out today. And if people want to get the copy of this book, Wise Words, Insightful Reflections, be sure to do so at the book signing. Well, Hamilton, stay tuned because we have more coming after the break.